Welcome back. All right, let's do a sculpt sketch with this little base fem head. So I thought, yeah, do nice big movements again with the grab brush is really the way to go with this. So let's do like a little Dryad style, like a fairy. So let's maybe exaggerate how narrow her face is. So she's a Dryad woodland fairy, right? So I'm making a really narrow um, skull. And maybe do the same thing here with the nose, and especially on the nostrils, maybe here. Maybe to give her the little upturned fairy nose, and perhaps bigger eyes. So just a nice big temple here, and pull out the actual eye part here. Maybe bring it in. And the chin is a bit bony, pointy, so we'll maybe bring that in some more. There we go. And maybe bring in the skull itself. So right away, just nudging very gently with the um, grab brush, with the move brush. We're already making major changes here. So here's where the fun for Sculptris really kicks in. So I'm going to go into the ear here. I'm going to mask off the top of the ear so I don't accidentally pull any polygons, triangles from the top of the ear on accident. Okay, after I've masked that off, I'm going to go to my grab brush, and remember, if you hit G a second time, it's going to go global. And grab the top of the ear. Let's snap it to the side for just a moment. Left side, snap, front snap. And grab the tip here and pull and pull. And look at that, just kind of get a nice, clean, smooth arc. So I'm getting the head there a little bit on accident. So as I'm pulling, I really should have pulled that away first. So let's do it from the back here. Okay, so I'm going to grab this. I'm going to pull away from the head first. So see, it's doing it right there. I can smooth that out. But there we go. Now the ear is safe to play with and smooth it out some more. Smooth it out. But there we go. So now I can, if I need to mask off more of this, I certainly should. Feel free to mask, mask, mask. If you see something moving and you're like, oh, I'm gonna have to fix that later, just hold down control and mask it off. And then you just got to control and slide an empty space to fix it, right? So Y. There we go. So I can go bigger with the brush and not worry about squishing the triangles of the skull too much on there. There we go. So now she has some cool Fey elf ears, and continue to pull that up a little bit. And yeah, have fun with it. Make it your own. Like, don't follow. I'm showing you technique is important here. I don't want people to watch these and necessarily recreate what I'm making. Right? I want to see your creativity come through. See your version of. I grew up in the 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s with ElfQuest. They had these crazy, exaggerated ears that were, like giant. And I'm sure you've all seen some anime shows that like to do that as well. Yeah, there you go. So I'm kind of nudging, trying to get it lumpy, trying to control the arc flow, keep it clean. And then once I get it where I'm happy, I just control swiped on the side, and then I go to the tip here and just shift and smooth it out a little. And if it needs it, there we go. If I zoom in a little, it's going to add the detail as you zoom in, right? Which maybe it wouldn't do. And now I can smooth that out when I'm a little bit closer, and then I can go back in with the crease tool, and I can pull up and accentuate this ridge. And you know what I'm going to do after? After I pull that out, I'm going to go back next to it. I'm going to push in a nice sharp crease. Look at that. My hand got a little unsteady there, but you kind of see. And just go back and clean up any boogers that might be around. There we go. Clean it, shift smooth, shift smooth. There we go. That's a nice sharp point. And don't know, maybe grab the lobe too, maybe. And if again, I can mask out beneath it. There we go. And pull the lobe down some more. And then go to the inflate brush and a little lobe. Fatten that up right in here, maybe the regular brush. I can go in and have this flow together with clay on. If I hit D a second time, the clay is going to kind of even out strokes that overlap each other. It's going to let them build up. We call it the clay build-up brush as well. And back here, I can shift smooth back behind the ear a little bit. Control swipe to clear the masks. So there's a really quick variant on the elf, right? The ears. I think the other things to do in here maybe is just a nice big brush and fill in the cheeks a little bit more. It's a little bony. Oh, geez, that's really strong. And the hell just happened? Careful, save what you're doing, folks. It's free buggy software. Maybe I'll save what I'm doing. We'll save. We'll do Dryad for one. I'll do the hair separately. Maybe I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what we do towards the end here. But yeah, I just saved that, so now I feel a little bit more comfortable. So as I'm doing this, I can hit Shift key and I can lower the strength way down. And I can just really gently fill in some flesh for the cheek region. It's just too gaunt for my liking. And then Shift to smooth it out. If I hit Shift and Spacebar, that will also show you what the strength is on there. There we go. I found that I was not, in a lot of my recent work, I wasn't giving enough roundedness in here for the fleshy region of both the male and female form, just the human face in general. There we go. And then maybe bring out the jawline as well. So with the lower intensity, this is maybe against the spirit of the sculpt sketch, but not really, because we're still moving fast, but I'm doing a little bit less changes at a time, and I'm kind of making sure my strokes follow some of the forms and shapes and then smoothing them out. There we go. And let's go ahead in here and do the same thing we did with the ear. So I'm going to, remember I'm zoomed in, so it's going to add a little bit more detail than it would otherwise. And then smaller Alt with the regular draw brush. I'm going to push in this nostril very deliberately. I'm up underneath here. And if I want to, I can always increase the strength holding spacebar. Increase that strength a little bit more. And what's nice when I start doing ZBrush, that all these techniques works the same. So ZBrush does cost a few dollars for your students for personal use, but it's well worth it. I think it's really fun software. There we go, and bring this out underneath. Go back under here with the crease tool and really accentuate that nostril a little bit. Make sure I'm following my arc flow where I want it to go. And then even at the tip of the nose here, if I want more detail there, I can. Remember, we got two pieces of cartilage. Whoops, on the crease tool. Back to the regular draw brush, but you have two pieces of cartilage that run along this way, almost like two little water drops shapes, kind of bulbous here and then come down to a point here. And so those are pretty well rounded out. I'll smooth it out. Nicole Kidman's got, I think, a good fairy nose to use as a reference. There we go. And down underneath here, Shift smooth it out some more. And shift to smooth that out. Maybe bring in this, should be filled out a bit better right here. Yeah, welcome to use inflate, smooth. But zooming in to a little bit there on the detail, I think that helps out there a little bit. And go back in here. How am I doing my speed sculpt here? 10 minutes, perfect, okay. That's about what I was hoping for. And this is acting really funny earlier, so I'm going to carve this back in some more and see if I can't get this to cooperate and not disappear on me when I zoom out. That's what was happening earlier. And I want to make sure the curves follow the form of the lip here. So I'm doing the opposite of the crease, right? And then there we go. And then shift to smooth it out again. Another using the clay and the soft with the regular draw brush, I can come up here and I can maybe really fill in more this more. The upper mandibles really should curve around the, and we got to get a little soft fleshy region in the tip here. And as I get that, I get a little lumpy, just smooth it out. But yeah, I think creating the nasolabial here, go down around. You don't want it to be too defined, but there should be a separation here from the front of the cheek and the front mandible. Should be quite a good separation there. There we go. Zoom back out again. It's a little strong, so I'll just go to my smooth brush and again, there's B. So if you wanted to go B with it and then crank it up, that we can really massively smooth this out. I usually don't do that because it really wipes your detail all to hell. But yeah, there we go. That's a little more needed there, a little more appropriate. I'll put it back down immediately when I'm done, so I don't want it to do any damage there, so to speak. And then come back to the eyelid. Let's define her eyelids a little bit better. And go down here to the eye socket and maybe gonna make someone look much older. Like my eye sockets right here, pretty dark right here, dark circles. But you want to at least hint at that shape, right? See that nice shadow, that nice light highlight there now? That looks pretty good, I think. And then there's a kind of an upward angle outward for the traditional, I think, or what a lot of people think for elves and fairies for the Dryad. So we'll go, again, making sure the eyelids curve forward is important, like that. And then goes back into the eye socket in the outer part. So that curves should follow. And then I think an upward trajectory like that is going to kind of sell the Fey blood, so to speak. So we'll get in here a little tighter, put W back on, and let's get that eyelid defined. So get the opposite of crease, or I could just hit the X key, see invert, and that's going to bring this up as well. There we go. That tear duct. And go underneath it. Now I hit X off again. That way I'm not holding the Alt key the whole time and go underneath it. So pushing right underneath where I just pulled up. There we go. Go back to the maybe inflate brush here. And just like a little bit above the eye. Smooth it out some. Her eyes are closed, so I can play around with opening the eye a little bit, putting an eye and an iris. But I want to, just kind of like the ear, I want to leave the eye alone for now because you can. But if you want to do eye and an iris, yeah, go for it. Super fun. Looks great too. There we go. And get that arc going in the right direction. And maybe, again, pushing in, whoops, pushing in that temple region even more. And the lacrimal glands, that's the where the tears come from, is a little soft tissue region right here. So I want to bring that and smooth it out some more. And go back to my regular draw brush and we'll define the brow a little better. And since she's a Dryad, maybe push the temple using that opposite alt right here. There we go. This part's a struggle, ladies and gentlemen. Got to get that temple region right. There we go. And then this brow's a little flat. It is flat right there. That's a bad arc. So since we're talking about arc flow so much, grabbing that and just pulling that, making sure that brow comes out, and then making sure the front, this brow should come out some more as well. So it should come out here, curve back again, and then kind of protrudes out here. I probably could use the flatten brush at this stage. So let's flatten this whole region here. Let's go to the temple. There we go. So you want this temple line right there as much as you can. Then after a few strokes, shift, smooth it out. Some shift, smooth it out. And maybe put a little bit more. Be careful with the bony protrusions on the feminine form, of course, but you still got to have a hint at that stuff. So. Yeah, I just made her look way older. All right, so it's all right. She could be the matriarch, Dryad. So yeah, it's a bit jagged up here. Shift, smooth it out. There we go. Shift, smooth it out. Cool. Yeah, little dips in there. Go down smaller. Smooth that out. But I think we're in pretty good shape for that one. And the lips, smooth that out some more. I didn't get to do too much yet here underneath the lip, so maybe push this in a bit right there on the sides and bring this kind of roundedness out here. And then if I go smaller with it, let's just stick with the crease tool. There's a lot of curling going on here, going both the top and the bottom, coming out up above the lip. Smooth it out. There we go. And there we go. Maybe bring this out even more and fill this in with the clay. There's a curve that goes this way underneath where the muscles are, and then the chin. Didn't do anything with the chin yet, so now I'm trying to go a little bit quicker and call this one done. Right, if I find myself slowing down and doing a way too much detail, I just kind of catch myself right away if I can, and try to. There you go. So lots of lines, so we get a little more sketchy with this, and smooth. There we go. Fill in some of that detail. There we go. So she got a little bit more character going on. Chin got pushed in a bit still, but yeah. I think the ears are still really straight. So I'd like to see with the grab brush some fun dynamic curves. So whether that's this way, whoops, I gotta mask off the skull again. I'm pushing it in this way, or getting from a top up view and pushing in like this. And there we go. And then maybe going from the back view over here and pulling out, pulling in from the front. And just looking at it from as many angles as possible. Oops. There we go. Maybe it's a bit extreme, but I think, there we go. Just smooth it out. Big, deep inhalation. And yeah, This time I got 20 minutes. Okay, maybe that went a little longer, but yeah, it's fun, right? I mean, once you get going in here, it is definitely hard to stop. I'll flatten out the front here, then smooth it out some more. Flatten, use the F brush, and shift to smooth. And then maybe E. I think right in here, as you look at the eyelids, I can almost open the eyeball here. So I think I might do that. So I kind of like to do that with these speed sculpts is really, and just smooth that out some more. Get the eyelids closed first so they're nice and relaxed and then open them afterwards. So if I get in here with the grab brush and I'm going to very subtly, the upper eyelid does most of the moving, right? It's much more than the lower eyelid barely moves. There we go. I'll do that. And then down here, I can go back to E and we'll just kind of carve in. There we go. The lower eyelid and Alt to pull up that edge after I just carved in. And you can even push in the tear duct here some more and pull up and go up above it. Oops. Be careful I'm carving. There we go, and shift to smooth all that out. Maybe get the draw brush and maybe put in even more, or maybe let's try inflate. How strong is my inflate brush? Let's lower down the strength. And let's just very gently inflate the tissue above the eyelid, poofy eye. No Botox, ladies and gentlemen. Try and keep it natural. All right, there we go. All right, and then being able to see the wireframe helps with this sometimes too. Here we go. So I'm really carving in that separation. And up here, there we go. May carve in top of the eyelid just a little bit, and then Alt. Now, when you bring an actual eyeball in here, it's way, way easier, of course. So kind of consider that as I'm doing a somewhat poor job of carving in the iris, but I'm just adding this for now. There we go. There's like a little bit of a bulge here underneath. And then smooth where the lens is, and then I can zoom in really close. Hold down Control, and I can mask off where I want this to be. There we go. And then zoom out. So you see your eyelid's a little low for me maybe, so let's make your eye open a little bit better. Trying to make it circular. There you go. Control tap one time. And we can push that in. I'm going to go G. And then go global with it. I'm just going to pull the whole thing in real quick, like that. And then shift smooth around. So this is like an old classic sculpting technique with traditional clay. Just kind of push in where you want that to be. Control Shift. I'm going to take away the masking region here a little bit. Control Shift, take away. There we go. And Shift to smooth this all out. See if I can smooth it. There we go. Yep. Just a quick technique, right? Once we make eyeballs by themselves, of course, the makes this way faster. So control drag. You see, it's not really all that round, so maybe use the draw brush and get that filled in a little bit with the clay buildup. There we go. And E, maybe carve that eyelid back in and smooth it out. Not very round, but check that out. It's a little, catches the light. and elf. All right, that's our elf face for now. We'll come back and we'll try and make something different for the next sketch.